Oh, look who's up from their nap. Hey.
Cute cat.
Hey, but look, before y'all go run off and do your little thing.
Where'd you get him? How much you want for him?
You serious?
Actually, he is, man. We in the market right now for like a gangster pet, so.
I want to let you all know that I'm on the case. Now, I do have really bad travel anxiety. When I travel, it is a huge production, especially because I have huge stress about leaving you all without content. So I want to work ahead, get videos done, and make sure that I have you all handled while I'm on the road. Then I totally freak out about making sure I bring everything. Like, I have this thing here. This is like my Tupperware of production on the road. So I make sure I can deliver you my beautiful face in 4K, as well as deliver at least above average audio while I'm traveling, not to mention the clothes, and plus I deal with my own actual anxiety. So it's a nightmare. But you all have pushed hard enough to let me know that you want me to save the cat. You want me to go into the Beanie compound. Now, by the time you see this, I will have already infiltrated the walls of the multi-million-dollar mansion compound, the poolplex, so to speak. And I will have extracted the cat before Tim even notices. Now, if you remember, there was all sorts of smear pieces about Tim last week. You can see this garbage piece in Gizmodo, which is an obvious, I used to read Gizmodo for like tech news, and now it's just another like hard left trash place. How do I know that? Because it says right-wing YouTuber. Tim Pool is not right-wing. Have like literally a 5-minute conversation with the person. Tim Pool's plan to found a media company is allegedly collapsing amid infighting over footage at the January 6th events, and claims that he held a cat against its will as leverage over one of his partners in the venture. This is huge news for the Daily Beast. This was Twitter forced this story onto my timeline as trending for 2 straight days. An article that had less than 500 likes on it. Twitter put out there. We all know that Twitter manually chooses what is in the trending topic, so we can assume that this was someone at Twitter's decision to try and smear Tim Pool. Of course, he first came to prominence at well-known right-wing Occupy Wall Street era and bills himself as a liberal journalist, but a rational and cool-headed one, so alienated and disgusted enough by illiberal leftists that he voted for Trump. As one might expect, in practice, Pool seems to act very much like a professional, panderer, parroting whatever pet grievances a certain segment of extremely online right-wingers are nursing at any given time, be it cancel culture or whether or not clowns are bad, or how the media is a bunch of hysterical elitists. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're jealous at all. It doesn't sound like you're a little rump roasted at all, does it? It's funny how a lot of these like hard left outlets pretend that cancel culture doesn't exist when they literally canceled one of their own, Ellen DeGeneres, over her being, what everyone would expect a jerk Hollywood elitist worth $500 million to be. But that's neither here nor there. Let's keep pretending cancel culture doesn't exist, especially while they're eating themselves. Poole spent most of the Trump presidency insisting that Donald was a strategic genius whose every move was designed to goad liberals into politically damaging overreactions. Well, he had his moments. I mean, this is a guy that could dominate the headlines with a simple misspelling of a word. There are coffee brands that launched over his misspelling of coffee. The mainstream media covered the coffee thing for about a week. So whether or not he did it on purpose or not doesn't change the fact that he was right. This grift has proved very lucrative for Poole, who's hawked merch like survival rations to gullible conservatives. Yeah, what kind of idiot would want to have emergency rations? You know what? I mean, it's not like I couldn't have turned on the news this entire summer and watched cities burn. You know, it's not like it's not like it was what a bunch of morons for having some extra TP around and extra food when states are literally being shut down. What a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing weirdos. Anyway, according to the Beast, he owns a $1 million mansion in the Maryland woods, complete with a podcast studio and a skate park. I love how this is, again, this was an original point made by the Daily Beast and then parroted by Gizmodo. Look, I like Tim. You know, I don't know, if we lived across the street from one another, if we'd hang out. I don't know him that well. But I could tell you this. They sound super jealous. They sound super jealous that they make 2 cents a word writing this dreck for Gizmodo when Tim can turn on his monitor, read this dreck, and make 10,000. This grift, of course, yes, Poole and his now former partners in the venture, Emily Molly and former vice editor-in-chief Rocco Castoro, raised $1.2 million from investors. Yes, well, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to speak to, the specifics of his business. I mean, I'll probably ask him about that in private, but it's really none of my business, and it's not the public's business. If his business failed, that sucks. But it happens, and it seems like he was working with people who actively hated him. You can see on January 6th, one person tweeted an image of IP logs and domain names that somehow implicated Poole in something. In response to questions on why Poole appeared to have a diminished role in the site, Castoro and Molly told Poole's fans to email their glorious leader. Say a little prayer. Maybe he'll see it, they wrote. I don't know. When I text him, he gets back to me. I mean, it's super easy to get a hold of him. Castoro began posting cryptically about his investigations into Poole on Twitter, taunting Poole, who ostensibly still his business partner. So on what planet do you think that this is okay? On what planet would you expect your boss to not get mad? Oh, the hard left, the morons who think that, like, who could have foreseen why somebody who is an at-will employer might not like you taunting him? The guy that pays your salary. Maybe. The fight climaxed on January 6th as Molly prepared to cover stuff going on in LA. Increasingly felt alienated from Poole, tweeted a cryptic message he now claims would prove that he was aware of some scheme of Poole's. It's difficult to discern the meaning of Castoro's tweet, which consists of screenshots and IP logs and domain names. Molly was on site covering some news, which was devolving into other stuff, according to the Daily Beast. Poole texted her that Rocco was posting some insane stuff in private details, which he was. That someone who sounds like Tim left a voicemail ordering her to leave events and return to the Maryland residence. Well, he is her boss. You need to call me back right now. A person whose voice closely resembled Poole's in the message, which was shared with the Daily Beast. I don't know what you did, but this is beyond serious. He continued without naming exactly what he was angry about. I don't know what's going on other than what the F did you do, Poole said. You need to call me back. This one's on you. Whatever ends up happening, I had nothing to do with it. Note that prolific interviewer of far-right personalities, including InfoWars steers. Didn't he have Vosh on there? Didn't he have Destiny on there? These guys are far left. But what the news really cared about was a cat. It gets weird here. The Beast reported to a lawyer working on the SCNR, Willie Stekla, refused to assist. To the extent your question involves a cat or pet, I can affirmatively set forth that I am not representing anyone regarding a cat or a pet. Stekla wrote in February. This is news? Clients like cats come in all stripes. Stecklow told the Daily Beast, I do not represent any cat as I do not have the requisite experience to represent cats. Molly shows cite text messages that cross and then refuse to act as an intermediary at the cat's return, writing, we'll have to run everything by Tim. She told the Beast that she didn't want to go to Poole's house because she was convinced Poole would demand she turn over footage. Well, honestly, if she was taking that footage on his dime as his employee, she should have turned it over. Molly adds that she was reluctant to send anyone to Poole's Maryland Skater Palace as he owns multiple weapons and is terrified of cities because he thinks the super soldiers are going to go after him. And the idea of encountering him or going to his house freaks a lot of people out. This sounds hilarious, but I'll let you know this. I will investigate it thoroughly as I appear on the Tim Pool podcast tomorrow and the next day, Thursday and Friday, March 25th and 26th. I hope that you'll show up in the chat and be very positive, and let's make it one of his biggest shows in a long time. I hope to see you there. And for you, I'll be making sure that news keeps flowing as normal. And I look forward to chatting with Tim and whoever else is on the show. See you there.